Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive into theta healing. Um, from what I've heard, it sounds like you're really interested in this idea of overcoming things like those pesky limiting beliefs, fears, and even those past traumas that kind of keep coming back. So yeah, let's jump right in. Theta healing, it's really all about tapping into that power of your subconscious, right? That incredible like reservoir of all those thoughts, emotions, and those deep down beliefs that shape so much of, well, everything really, your life.
The fascinating thing is so often we're kind of running on autopilot, right? We're
Yeah.
totally unaware of these subconscious programs that are just chugging away in the background. And that's where theta healing comes in. It gives us, I guess you could say, a framework, some techniques to really access. And then the cool part, reprogram those programs.
So we're not just talking like, positive thinking here, right? This is about actually like changing those underlying beliefs that are kind of holding us back.
Right. Exactly. It's like imagine your subconscious mind and it's running on this outdated software.
Right.
It's full of those limiting beliefs and all those fears. It's going to be pretty hard to create the life you really want, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So theta healing is like it helps you upgrade that software, get a whole new operating system.
Okay, I love that analogy. The software upgrade. So how does this upgrade actually happen? What's the process?
Well, a really key element here is accessing what called the theta brainwave state. It's that deeply relaxed state you get, right before you fall asleep or like during deep meditation. It's like this bridge between the conscious and the subconscious. And it really opens up this pathway for deeper communication and transformation.
So it's like finding a back door to your subconscious mind, a place where you can, I don't know, rewrite the rule book, the rules of the game,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. You got it. And in this state, theta healing practitioners, they use this four-step process, right? And it's designed to help people, you know, get rid of those limiting beliefs that are holding them back. The first step. Well, it's all about identifying the specific belief that's causing the problem. It might take some introspection, maybe journaling, even guided meditation. Just got to figure out what the problem is.
Okay, so becoming aware of the problem. That's step one. Got it. But how do we actually get to the root of these beliefs? I mean, some of these things, they're so ingrained, it's like they're part of our
Well,
DNA.
you're telling me, and that's where the theta brainwave state becomes so essential. Once you're in that relaxed, that receptive state, then you can really delve deeper into the origins where those beliefs came from.
All right, so we're accessing that back door, ready to do some rewiring. What happens next?
Next comes, well, it's the heart of it, exploring the root cause of that limiting belief. And this is where it gets really interesting. Often this means, well, uncovering hidden memories or past traumas, the kind of things that might be fueling those negative thoughts. It could be, something from childhood, maybe a past relationship, or even an experience, something you've suppressed and don't even remember consciously.
So we're not just slapping a Band-Aid on the
Yeah.
problem, right? We're going deep. We're trying to understand where it all started. I can see how that would be, well, crucial to make a lasting change.
You got it. It's absolutely essential. And once you've uncovered that root cause, the next step, the big one, is to reprogram the belief. Basically replacing that old limiting thought with a new one, a positive, a powerful one.
So we're essentially rewriting the code, right,
Hmm.
of our subconscious mind. Out with the old, in with the new. But how did that actually work? It sounds, I don't know, almost too simple.
It might sound simple, but trust me, it's an incredibly powerful process. In the theta state, your subconscious mind is, well, it's much more open, more receptive to suggestions and new beliefs. It's like it's ready to learn.
So instead of, constantly struggling to fight those negative thoughts all the time, we're giving our minds, it's like we're giving them a whole
Ah.
new set of instructions, a new program to run.
Exactly. It's like replacing a faulty blueprint. You swap it out with a brand new one that's
Yeah.
that's designed to build a more positive, a more fulfilling reality. And that brings us to another fascinating part of theta healing, clearing trauma, but clearing it on multiple levels.
And trauma, let's talk about that. It's,
Uh-oh.
it's a heavy word,
Yeah.
and it can manifest in, well, in so many different ways. How does theta healing even approach trauma healing?
So theta healing recognizes this thing that trauma, it can be stored, yeah, in our conscious memories, but it also goes deeper, right? Much deeper. It gets stored on what Vienna Steibel calls the four core levels of trauma: core, genetic, history, and soul levels.
4 levels. Wow. Okay, break those down for us. What are those 4 levels?
Okay, so the core level, that's, beliefs and traumas from way back from childhood, the stuff that really shapes our foundation. Then you've got the genetic level. That one refers to inherited stuff, ancestral beliefs that are, well, they're passed down through generations, like family baggage.
So it's not just about our own experiences, right? It's also about the weight of family history. That's pretty intense.
It is. It is. And then there's the history level, and that includes traumas, but the ones experienced in, well, get this, past lives or even like historical events. And lastly, you've got the soul level. This one deals with, well, deeply seated beliefs that really affect our soul's journey, the big
Yeah.
picture stuff.
Wow, okay. So it's not just about this life, right? We're talking about experiences that could have affected our souls, like across multiple lifetimes.
You got it. And while these ideas, I know they might seem a little esoteric, a little out there to some people, but the main point, the takeaway is this. Theta healing, it aims to heal trauma on all these levels. And when that happens, well, it leads to a more balanced and more harmonious life.
So by clearing this trauma, I mean, whether it's personal, ancestral, even from past lives, we can actually release that emotional pain and create a more positive, like present and future. It's like we're, I don't know, clearing out all the cobwebs, all that junk in our subconscious mind,
Yeah.
making space for something new, for something better to emerge.
Yeah, you could say that. It's about taking back your power, taking back your freedom, and your ability to create a life that's aligned with your true self. And speaking of freedom, well, let's talk about fear. I mean, fear, it's a universal thing, right? Everyone experiences it, but it can be so debilitating. So how can theta healing help us overcome our fears?
Welcome back to our deep dive into theta healing.
Wow.
We've just finished exploring like the basics, the foundation of how theta healing works. And now, well, I'm really excited to hear those real life examples you mentioned, those stories that show us how powerful this technique can really be.
You bet. One area where I've seen theta healing make a huge difference, like a profound impact, is in healing relationships. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, relationships. I mean, that's something, well, so many people struggle with, myself included, honestly. What kind of like relationship challenges can theta healing actually address? What are we talking about here?
Oh, it runs the gamut. I mean, it could be, communication breakdowns, those recurring conflict that just never seem to go away, or even, healing those deep hurts from the past. And get this, even attracting a soulmate. That's a big one for some people.
Whoa, okay. So whether you're trying to, improve a relationship you're already in, or you're looking to manifest a brand new one, a
Mhm.
soulmate, theta healing can actually help with that.
You got it. Exactly. I worked with this couple once and they were right on the verge of divorce. They just argued constantly and there was so much resentment. Years and years of unresolved stuff.
Oof, yeah. That sounds pretty familiar, unfortunately. A lot of couples go through that. So what happened when they gave theta healing a try? What was the outcome?
So we started by, digging deep, really trying to get at their individual beliefs, their beliefs about relationships in general. And what we found was, well, both partners, they were subconsciously recreating these patterns patterns from their childhoods, like they were stuck in a loop.
So they were basically acting out like these old scripts, these old patterns, without even realizing it. That's wild.
It is. It is. The wife, she had grown up watching her parents constantly bicker. So she had this subconscious belief that conflict, well, it was just an inevitable part of any relationship, like it was unavoidable. And the husband, well, he had a father who was very distant, emotionally unavailable, so that led him to believe that, men, well, they shouldn't express their emotions. They should just keep it all bottled up inside.
It's amazing, really, how much our childhood experiences they can shape our adult relationships, right?
Hmm.
Even years later.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. So once we identified these subconscious beliefs, we could start the process of reframing them, of changing the story. The wife, she let go of that belief that conflict was inevitable, and she replaced it with a new belief, with the belief that, well, that healthy communication, and mutual respect, that those things were actually possible. And
Mhm.
the husband, well, he replaced that belief about emotional suppression, the idea that men can't show their feelings, and he embraced this new belief that vulnerability, that emotional expression, well, those are signs of strength, not weakness.
So they basically rewrote those relationship
Hmm.
blueprints. That's incredible. What happened then? What kind of like results do they see? Did things change?
Oh, the transformation. It was really remarkable. They started communicating, but in a totally different way, much more openly and honestly, and their arguments, well, those decreased dramatically. They weren't constantly fighting anymore. And they started to really see each other, to appreciate each other, and their love for each other. It was rekindled. It was like a whole new beginning for them.
That's a beautiful story. It's a perfect example of how theta healing can help couples break free from those destructive patterns that keep repeating, and then create something new, a more fulfilling relationship. But you mentioned soulmates before. Do you have any examples of how theta healing can help with manifesting a soulmate? That's pretty intriguing.
I do, I do. I worked with this woman, and she was feeling, well, pretty hopeless about finding love. She had this long list, this list of criteria, for her ideal partner, and she was constantly disappointed by the men she met. Like nobody measured up.
It sounds like she might have had some limiting beliefs, around love and relationships in general, like maybe some deep down doubts.
You're exactly right. We uncovered this deep-seated belief that she wasn't worthy of love, and this belief it stemmed from a childhood experience, where she felt rejected by her father, like he didn't love her enough.
So once again, a childhood experience.
Yeah.
It was casting a shadow, over her adult life,
Yeah.
affecting her relationship.
Exactly. It happens all the time. So through theta healing, she was able to release that limiting belief, to let go of that old story. And she replaced it with this new belief, the belief that she was worthy of love, that she deserved to be in a happy, a healthy relationship.
But it's not just about changing beliefs, right? I mean, there's got to be some action involved too, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Action is essential. But changing her beliefs, that was the foundation.
Yeah.
That was the first step. And then we work on visualization,
Right.
helping her to really see, to vividly imagine her ideal partner. And we also worked on creating a clear intention for what she wanted in a relationship. Like what would it actually look like? What would it feel like?
So it's about aligning your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions with your desired outcome, right? Like getting everything on the same page.
Exactly. And you know what? A few months later, she met this amazing guy at, get this, a volunteering event. He had so many of the qualities, that she had visualized, she imagined, and they fell in love pretty quickly.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's not magic,
Right.
but it's about creating those conditions both internally and externally for love to blossom, for love to find you. It's like you're saying to the universe, hey, I'm ready. I'm open to love. Bring it on.
Exactly. You got it. And that brings us to another area where theta healing can be really powerful. And that's career and finances,
Mm.
money stuff.
Oh yeah, money. Money is definitely a topic that brings up, well, a lot of limiting beliefs for a lot of people. I know I have some of my own. So what are some of the common like blocks that people have, blocks
Yeah.
around money? What do you see coming up again and again?
So there are a few classics, money is evil, or I don't deserve to be wealthy, or even I'll never be able to make enough money. Those are big ones. And these beliefs, they can come from childhood experiences, maybe societal conditioning, those messages we get from the culture around us, or even past life traumas. It can get pretty deep.
So once again, we're going back to the root of these beliefs, right? And then reframing them, changing the story. But how do we even know? How do we know if our financial challenges, if they're due to limiting beliefs, that inner stuff, or if they're just because of external factors like a tough job market, for example?
That's a great question, and it's important to consider both, right? To look at both the internal and the external factors that are at play. But I gotta say, I often find that even when there are those external factors, like a recession or something, those limiting beliefs, they can still get in the way. They can prevent us from seeing opportunities, or taking the necessary steps to improve our situation. Like we get stuck.
It's like those beliefs, they create this filter,
Yeah.
this filter that distorts our perception of reality.
Yeah.
And so we might not even recognize those opportunities, those chances, because deep down we don't believe that we deserve them, or that they're even possible for us.
Exactly. It's like we're wearing these blinders,
Yeah.
and we can't see what's right in front of us. I worked with this client. He was really struggling to make ends meet. I mean, he
Yeah.
was constantly worried about money, and he felt like he was always just one step behind, like he could never quite catch up. And this was despite, having a good education and a really strong work ethic. He was a hard worker, but he just couldn't seem to get ahead.
Man, that's a stressful way to live, to constantly be worried about money. So what did you discover about his beliefs around money? What was going on there?
Well, we uncovered this belief, this deep-seated belief that money was, well, that it was scarce, that there wasn't enough to go around, and that he had to work incredibly hard, like really hard, just to survive. And this belief, it came from his childhood, his parent. They were always stressed about money, always worried about making ends meet. They lived paycheck to paycheck. So he kind of absorbed that, he inherited that belief system.
So he was carrying that burden of scarcity with him, carrying it into his adult life, even though his circumstances were different. He wasn't a kid anymore, but those beliefs, they were still there.
Yeah, exactly. They were still running the show. So once we identified that belief, we could start working on releasing it, on letting it go. And we replaced it with a new belief, a
Yeah.
belief in abundance, the belief that there's enough to go around, that there's plenty for everyone. And we also focused on reframing his perception of work. Instead of seeing it as this struggle, this constant grind, we shifted it to seeing it as a way to express his creativity, to make a positive impact on the world.
So it was about more than just making more money, right? It was about changing his whole relationship with money and work, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was about shifting his mindset, his perspective. And you know what? As his beliefs shifted, well, so did his reality. He started to see opportunities he hadn't even noticed before. He landed this new job, and it was more fulfilling, He actually enjoyed going to work,
Wow.
and it paid significantly more. He was finally able to get ahead financially, and he even started a side business. He had this passion for photography, and he turned it into a little side hustle.
That's incredible. It's like once he released those limiting beliefs, those old stories, he opened himself up to a whole new world of possibilities, a world he didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's what's so exciting about theta healing. It's not about denying the challenges, the challenges we face. It's about empowering ourselves to create something better, a more positive, a more fulfilling reality. We have that power within us.
This is also fascinating. I'm really starting to see the potential here, the potential of theta healing to transform lives, to make a real difference on so many levels. We've talked about relationships,
Yeah.
finances, even spirituality. But I know a lot of people, they're also interested in how theta healing can address physical health issues. Like, can we dive into that in the next part of our deep dive?
Absolutely. In the next part, we'll explore how theta healing can be used, as a complementary approach to support physical healing and overall well-being. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into theta healing. It's been quite a journey, right? We've
Yeah.
explored how this technique, how it can help us transform our relationships, our finances, and even our beliefs about ourselves and who we are.
Uh-huh.
But now I'm really curious, about how theta healing can be used to address those physical health challenges. That's something a lot of people are really interested in, I think.
Yeah, it's a fascinating area. It's where we really see that mind-body connection, that link. We see it in action. And remember, theta healing, it emphasizes that so many of those physical ailments, those aches and pains, they can actually have, an emotional root or even an energetic root. It's not always just, purely physical.
So it's not about dismissing traditional medicine, right? It's more about exploring those deeper causes, those root causes of what we call disease, right?
Exactly. It's about a holistic approach. It's about
Yeah.
addressing both those physical symptoms, the stuff we feel in our bodies, but also those underlying, those energetic imbalances that might be contributing to those symptoms in the first place. It's like a two-pronged approach.
Okay, so what might that look like in practice,
Yeah.
in real life? Can you give us like an example of how theta healing has been used to address like a specific physical health issue,
Right.
like a case study or something.
Sure, sure. I worked with this woman once, and she had been struggling with these chronic migraines for years.
Really?
I mean, years. And she had tried, every conventional treatment you can imagine, but nothing seemed to provide lasting relief. It was really frustrating for her.
Yeah, migraines, those can be so debilitating. I mean, they can really knock you down. Did she have any insights into what might have been causing them? Did she have any theories?
Well, she suspected that stress might be a factor, but she couldn't really pinpoint the specific cause. It was kind of a mystery to her. So we started by doing an intuitive scan of her energy field. It's a way to get a sense of what's going on energetically.
An intuitive. Okay, what is that exactly? I've heard that term before, but I'm not really sure what it means.
So it's a technique where the practitioner they use their intuition, their ability to sense things, to sense blockages or imbalances in the person's energy field. Think of it like a subtle energy assessment. It's not like an X-ray or anything like that, but it's a way to get a sense of what's going on at a deeper level.
So it's like having X-ray vision, but for energy.
Yeah, you could say that. It's a way to see things that aren't visible to the naked eye.
Mm.
So during the scan, I sensed this significant blockage, this blockage in her solar plexus chakra, and that's the energy center that's associated with personal power, with self-esteem, and also with digestion.
Interesting. So there was an energetic blockage in the area that's related to stress and digestion, both of which can contribute to migraines.
Right. Exactly. It was like all the pieces were starting to fit together. So as we dug deeper, we uncovered this deeply ingrained belief, this belief that she wasn't good enough. And this belief it stemmed from childhood experiences of criticism and judgment from her parents. Like she'd been told either directly or indirectly that she wasn't, that she wasn't good enough, and she'd internalized that message.
So once again, a childhood wound. It was playing out in her adult life, but this time it was manifesting as a physical ailment, as those migraines.
Exactly. It's amazing how often that happens. How those old wounds, those old traumas, they can really affect us on a physical level. So this belief that she wasn't good enough, it had created this energetic blockage in her solar plexus chakra, and that blockage, it was leading to feelings of stress, feelings of anxiety, and ultimately to those debilitating migraines.
So how did you approach like healing that wound
Yeah.
and clearing that blockage? What was the process?
Well, we used a combination of theta healing techniques, including belief work and energy healing. So we worked on releasing that belief of not being good enough, and we replaced it with a new belief, a belief in her inherent worthiness, her inherent strength. Like we helped her to see herself in a new light, in a more positive light.
So rewriting the mental and emotional code, so to speak, right? And what about the energetic blockage? How did you address that?
We used specific theta healing techniques to clear the blockage in her solar plexus chakra, to allow that energy to flow freely again. It's like removing a dam that's been blocking the flow of a river. And once you remove that dam, well, the water can flow again. The energy can flow again.
It's like releasing that dammed up energy, right? Allowing
Yeah.
the river to flow smoothly again.
Yeah.
So what happened then? What kind of like results did she experience? Did things change for her?
Oh, the transformation, it was really remarkable. Her migraines, they gradually decreased in frequency and intensity, and eventually they disappeared altogether. She was finally free from that chronic pain.
Wow, that's incredible. It's such a powerful testament to that mind body connection,
Mhm.
and to the potential of theta healing to address those physical health challenges. It really highlights the importance of addressing not just the symptoms, the stuff we feel on the surface, but the root cause, the underlying cause of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. And this is just one example, you know. Theta healing it's been used to address a wide range of physical conditions, everything from chronic pain and inflammation to autoimmune disorders and even to support people who are undergoing conventional treatments for serious illnesses. It's a very versatile modality.
And it's important to emphasize again, that theta healing, it's not a replacement for traditional medicine, right? It's a complementary approach.
Absolutely. It's about empowering individuals, you know, empowering them to take an active role in their healing journey and to explore all the options that are available to them.
Well, this deep dive into theta healing, it's been so enlightening. I mean, it's really given me a whole new perspective on how our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions, how they can impact our physical health and our overall well-being. It's really quite amazing. So what would you say, is the most important takeaway for our listener? What do you want them to remember?
I think the biggest takeaway, the most important thing to remember is this. We we have more power than we realize, you know.
Hmm.
We have more power to create positive change in our lives, and that's on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Theta healing, it provides a set of tools and techniques to tap into that power, to unlock our full potential, to become the best versions of ourselves.
It's a reminder, it's a reminder that healing is possible, that transformation is within reach,
Mm.
and that we don't have to be victims,
Mhm.
victims of our past or our circumstances. We have the power to choose
Yeah.
a different story, to create a new reality. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your insights on this fascinating journey into the world of theta healing. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
It's been my pleasure. And remember, you know, the power to heal, the power to transform your life, it lies within you. You have everything you need.